Hey traders, Jason Leavitt, Leavitt Brothers. Phantom of the Pits. As you can see, it's not a traditional book. It's a PDF that I grabbed online and printed out, although it's long enough to be a PDF. It's an interview between two pit traders, okay? It's not available in bookstores, not available on Amazon, but as I said, it's a PDF. You can do a search for it online and you can download it for free. I heard when it first came out back in the 90s, it cost like $1,000. I don't know, doesn't really matter. Like I said, you can get it for free. Essentially, the reader gets to eavesdrop on a conversation between two traders, one of them having racked up really impressive returns over the course of 30 years by being a pit trader in Chicago. At times, the book is hard to read because they babble on, they go off on a tangent, and essentially we're just getting the edited version of a conversation. And so it could have been shortened, it could be half the length. It's not necessarily well written, but the content is fantastic. The Phantom has a couple rules or approaches that he uses, and he explains these rules as well as the psychology behind them. We've all heard that in order to be successful, you have to cut your losers and let your winners run. Ironically, or not so ironically, his first rule deals with cutting losses. Okay, his first rule is that you must assume your position is wrong. Okay, the Phantom says you should assume your position is wrong unless the market tells you it's correct. Most traders get in a position, they put a stop in place, they sit back, and they let the market tell them that they are wrong. Okay, the Phantom says you shouldn't do this. You should assume that a position is wrong unless the market tells you it's correct. He says you should reduce position size until or unless the market proves you're correct. Okay, so even if the market doesn't prove you wrong, by virtue of not yet being correct, you should tone things down. Okay, he does a much better job of explaining it than I do. His second rule has to do with pressing winners. He says you must press winners because then when you're right with bigger size. Okay, most traders, I think most human beings, are conditioned to want to take profits. We get in, we have a profit, we want to prove to ourselves that we're correct. And the only way to prove that we're correct is to actually take a profit. He says not only is this wrong, it's the exact opposite of what you should do. Instead of taking profits, you should actually add to your position. Okay, he says you must press winners. So essentially, rule number one keeps you in the market. Rule number two ensures that you make a lot of money when you're right. Okay, they talk about other things. Okay, there is a rule number three, and like I said, there's some fluff. They go off on tangents. And yes, the book can probably be condensed down to half the size, but you know, whatever. Phantom of the Pits, I highly recommend it. It's free unless you did what I did, which is print it out and then read it and then take notes in the margins. Okay, get it. It'll help you a lot. Okay, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.